meet you is to give some further information, some clarifications that might be there regarding the e-passport. This is a very important step taken by the government of India in terms of making services easy, accessible, and secure for Indian citizens. The second aspect for us is it makes the process simple and easy for the applicants. The application can be made by the applicants themselves. The process has been simplified, because of which, in our understanding, if applicants are able to fill in their forms at the comfort of their home, in the comfort of their home, the process of completing the application at the outsourced service provider centers will be much lesser. So those elements will be explained. So once again, we'll be happy to answer any further questions that you have, and thank you for being here.
This is an important reform introduced by the government in the passport system for Indian citizens, both in India and in abroad. There are two important changes which have been introduced, which have been rolled out in the UAE on the 28th of October. One is the e-passport, which is a change from the previous passport. So the e-passport is nothing but a next generation travel document as per the global best practices that are followed elsewhere. This is an important change that has been brought out. And to enable the issue of e-passports, the Government of India has also upgraded its passport application system, which is what we call the Global Passport Seva Portal 2.0. It's the second iteration of this. The first iteration was introduced a decade ago, and which has been in vogue. You are all familiar with it. Many of you have renewed your passports or applied for new passports for your family members. So this is the new version, which will enable the processing and issue of e-passports. So all passports that are issued under GPSP 2.0 will be e-passports. That's the change that we are introducing. I just want to add to this point here that there may be people who would have already filled up application forms because they would have taken appointments already, with our outsourced service provider by filling up the previous application forms, right? Those kind of applicants have the option of continuing with the previous version and submitting those application forms if they choose to do so, if they do not want to refill the information again in the 2.0 portal. So if there are application forms which have already been filled by the applicants, we will continue to accept those applications, but those applicants will get the normal passport, not the e-passport. So it is not mandatory for them to refill the application in the GPSP 2.0 portal. They have the option to do so if they desire so, but if they submit the application as per from the old portal, they will be issued only normal passports. This is something which is very important, and we would like to communicate this to them. We do not want people to think, and I'll have to refill the whole process and do it again. If they have already done it, they can go ahead and submit these forms. The centers will accept the old forms in the old portal, but they will be issued normal passports. So this is a message that we would like to clarify here. And any application which is filled up in the new portal, GPSP 2.0 filter, they will be issued e-passports. So that's the main clarification that we wanted to give. 2.0 portal, there have been few changes that have been introduced from the previous application portal which was there. This is to ensure the ease of application process and also to ensure that the applicants can complete the process in a hassle-free way. One important change that has been introduced is that in the previous portal, for example, when you go for renewal of your passport, you will have to refill the information all over again, even if there is no change in the information in your passport. You just want to renew because the validity has expired, but all the details of the application is the same. But still you would have to physically enter your name, your passport number, date of birth, address and everything. In the new system, all you need to do is put in your old passport reference number, and then there will be a verification process with your registered email ID which you had used during the previous application process. And once you complete the verification, all the details will automatically fetched in the application form. So if there is no change which is required, then the application process is very smooth and you will be able to complete the entire filling of the application in less than 2 minutes. That is our estimate according to it. You enter your old passport number, you completely complete the verification process, all the information will be pulled, and then you just have to submit the process and the process will be completed actually. So this is another important change which the government has introduced, taking into account the ease of applicants when it comes to applying for the passports. The other important development which has done is, particularly it is relevant for UAE, is that suppose if I submit an application form and then I go to submit it, there may be a simple typo. Maybe it might be in the name, it might be in the date of birth, it might be in the address, which when we compare it with the old passport, it may be different. So earlier what was required was you will have to again refill the application entirely when you go to submit this application form. Now government has introduced a reform in that as well. You can take a form, and if there is a mistake in the application form, our outsourced service provider will be able to correct the mistakes in your application form based on your correct information in the previous passport without any additional charge. So one, it saves time because earlier we used to re-enter the whole information, and two, it saves money because earlier our outsourced service provider used to charge a separate fee for it. Now that fee is gone. If you have an application form, when you go to submit it, if there are any minor corrections that are required in the form, the service provider has been given instructions to correct this information free of cost. So there will be no additional charges for the applicants. This is another important change that has been introduced in the new 2.0 portal. The third important change is that applicants now can upload all their supporting documents, directly into the portal. So earlier you just fill up the application form and all the other documents have to be physically submitted at the counters. Now applicants have the option of uploading all this information, and this information will be accessed by our outsourced service provider for document verification purposes. But there are certain original documents that you need to still carry. For example, you need to still carry your original passport, your original Emirates ID, and some of the other critical documents, like if you have an address change, you need to carry your original address proof, for example. But for regular renewals, you don't have to take out any additional supporting document. You can upload all this information in the GPSP 2.0, and then the embassy and the OSP, as we call them, they will be able to access this information. So as the Consul General said, applicants can complete the entire process hassle-free from the comfort of their homes. They just need to take the original documents, the original application form, the original passport, the Emirates ID or the visa, and if there is any change, they need to take that original document, and that's it. And because much of the documents and everything has already been uploaded, the verification and the wait time at the center will be considerably reduced. One thing that I would like to add, which is different from the previous version, is the requirement of ICAO compliant photographs. This is a significant difference from the previous process, because in the previous process, there is a technical specification of the photograph which was there earlier as well, but then most of the system would accept most of the photographs that are submitted. But in this, there is a specific type of guidelines which are provided by the Government of India. It is already in our websites. We are happy to share a copy of this to you as well. This is very critical because some of the biometric information which is embedded in the chip will be captured from the photograph that the person submits. So unless you are able to submit an ICAO compliant photographs, the process will not proceed to the next stage. It is a mandatory process to upload an ICAO compliant photographs.
When you go for submission, it will automatically take you now to the new portal. What he was trying to mention is about applications which have already been filled up, for which the appointment is scheduled later after the rollout. Only in those cases we are looking at still issuing the old passport because they had applied in the previous portal. But now, as on date, if somebody is going to apply, they don't have a choice. It will be in GPSP 2.0. In the new system, e-passports will be issued. I hope that answers the first question. The second question is, if you have a valid passport, your passport is valid for the entire period. If it is for 2 years, 5 years, 8, 10 years, so you don't have to go and change your passport. Your old passport is good for your travel for all practical purposes. Any further issue renewal will be under the e-passport. So you don't have to take your passport now and think that, oh, this is an invalid passport, I have to change. No, all your existing valid passports can be used for travel.
The entire processes will remain the same. The turnaround times that the embassy and the consulate had followed, we will adhere to these timelines. Would be based on a different kind of a scanner. The global ICAO standards for secure documents is the chip-enabled passports and chip-readable machines. So now we've upgraded ourselves to the global standards which are applicable in many countries. Obviously, it will enable faster clearances at the immigration. And we had also mentioned the process change, which is also an important change. I mean, it's not the physical passport which has been upgraded, but the process, the 2.2 portal, it also has the additional features, and it's a constant endeavor. And based on the feedback that we will receive from applicants, we receive from the diaspora members here, our endeavor and the government's endeavor is always to see as to how do we enhance the system by with the objective of making sure that the application process will remain smooth for our citizens who are applying for these services.
Like and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get notification from the Brew News.